Yo, welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Chevaughn Beckford and I have some exciting news for you guys today in this video. At the time of recording this video, DJI just announced and released the DJI Air 3. It's the predecessor to my favorite, my beloved DJI Air 2S. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about my loves, my my dislikes, my hates about this drone. I don't have the drone currently, but I've watched tons of reviews, creators talking about the drone, using the drone, and read a lot of articles online, and also reviewed the specs on the DJI official website. So I'll be going through those, telling you guys what I like, what I don't like, what I was expecting, what blew my mind. I'm Chevaughn Beckford. Let's dive right into this video without any further ado. Now I'm gonna be discussing the specs right off the bat so we can see what this new drone is offering. And I have the DJI website pulled up right here with the specs from the DJI Air 3, and I will also be comparing it to the DJI Air 2S since it's the most recent predecessor to the Air 3, which is only fair because if you're going to get the Air 3, more than likely you would be upgrading from the Air 2S or maybe even the Air 2. So without any further ado, let me dive right into the specs. So right off the bat, we have a 1/1.3 inch CMOS sensor. Compared to the DJI Air 2S, we had a 1-inch sensor. Now clearly it's a smaller sensor, but DJI probably know what they're doing. They may have new software to make better use of the sensor, and they also added 2 cameras on the DJI Air 3 compared to the DJI Air 2S, which was 1 camera. Now we see this 2 camera setup being more prevalent. The DJI Mavic 3 Pro had 3 cameras, so I believe drones going into the future will be packed with more than 1 camera, so it can be more versatile than having to move the drone closer to the subject you're capturing. You can just switch between cameras and stay in place and get a lot of different diversity of shots. Continuing, we have 48 megapixels on the DJI Air 3 compared to 20 megapixels on the DJI Air 2S. For the aperture, this was another upgrade, a major upgrade. We have an f1.7 and an f2.8. We have 2 apertures on the DJI Air 3. On the DJI Air 2S, which was a kind of a deal breaker for most of us, not really me because I don't really change aperture that much, we had a fixed aperture of f2.8 on the DJI Air 2S. Now we have the choice to switch between 1.7 and 2.8 on the DJI Air 3. Moving along, for the DJI Air 3, we have maximum video resolution at 4K 100 frames per second. This is very slow at 4K because on the DJI Air 2S we have 4K up to 60 frames per second maximum, but the DJI Air 2S could shoot up to 5.4K in resolution, and you could shoot 5.4K up to 30 frames per second. So it's kind of a down in the maximum resolution you can get on the Air 3. So on the DJI Air 3 as well, we still have D-Log-M and HLG along with normal mode, and it was the same on the Air 2S. That beautiful D-Log, we can shoot in log profile and make our videos more creative when we're coloring, which you didn't have on the flat Air 2 model. Now, the DJI Air 3 is heavier than the DJI Air 2S. The DJI Air 3 is 720 grams and the DJI Air 2S is 595 grams. Now I've seen this trend over the years. As the new Air models are released, they get bigger and heavier, and I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing because we have to cram all that technology and new specs and features into such a small flying alien saucer device, but we're also making the devices bigger. Well, not we, DJI of course, making the devices bigger, in which if you look at the flight regulations and laws, they're specific to the size and weight of your drone. So I think DJI should really look into that, because if we want some countries, you can't fly drones as big as the Mavic Pro and the Mavic series, that's where the Air and the Mini would come in. But if the Airs are getting so big, we will probably have to lean to the Mini for certain restrictions. Moving right along. The flight time on the DJI Air 3 is bumped up to 46 minutes compared to 31 minutes on the Air 2S. I was already pleased with the time I was getting on my Air 2S. And now I'm hearing the Air 3 will go to 46 minutes, which is the same as the Mavic 3 series. This is a game changer in flight time. This is probably too much time for me. I probably get reckless while flying. We now have omnidirectional obstacle avoidance, which means it can avoid obstacles in all directions around the drone. The DJI Air 2S only have obstacle avoidance in 4 directions: down, in front, behind, and above. We didn't have any obstacle avoidance to the side, so you could crash if you're moving the drone from side to side. Now we have OcuSync 4 on the DJI Air 3. On the DJI Air 2S we had OcuSync 3, which was giving us up to 12 kilometers in transmission when connected to a supported controller. In the DJI Air 3 we now have OcuSync 4, which gives us up to 20 kilometers. I don't know who will be flying their drones out 20 kilometers. Certainly not me, but it's there, and I know a lot of people will try to make use of it, but I won't fly my drone that far. Imagine your drone falling out of the sky 20 kilometers away. That won't be me. But it's cool that it's there. DJI, good work though. I won't be using it, but good job. Moving right along. The maximum takeoff altitude has also increased by 1 kilometer. The Air 3 can now take off up to 6 kilometers above sea level in elevation. The DJI Air 2S was at 5 kilometers for the maximum takeoff altitude, because you know, the higher you go, the thinner the air gets, and you know the propellers have to push air down, physics, so they can fly in the sky. And those are the physical specs from the DJI Air 3 compared to the Air 2S, and also those were the specs you would normally look at when purchasing a drone. So I just discussed the specs from the DJI Air 3. Now let's talk about what I like from this drone. Now so far, from watching all the reviews and reading up and researching about the Air 3, I like a feature they have where you can put the batteries in the charging hub, and you can, let's say you have 3 batteries, right? One is at 60, one is at 30, and one is at 20. You can drain the percentage from the 30 and the 20 and put it into the battery with the 60% and bring it up higher, so you can put that battery into the drone and have a better flight experience. That's an amazing feature. I wish they had that on the DJI Air 2S. Another feature that it's a give and take for me, this feature, to be honest, and it's the biggest improvement to the Air lineup of drones, is the dual camera. I love the fact that they implemented 2 cameras on the DJI Air 3, so we can have that Mavic 3 Cine kind of, you know, experience when we are flying with multiple cameras. But at what cost? Because remember, with this drone, unlike the rest, the Mavic 3 Pro, it has 3 separate sensors. So the main lens or camera is on one sensor, and the other 2 are on 2 separate sensors. On the DJI Air 3, the sensor is one sensor holding the 2 cameras. So the 2 of them are utilized. It's like 2 eyes on 1 brain. It's like us, yeah. 2 eyes on 1 brain. While on the Mavic 3 Pro, for example, you have 3 cameras, but 3 separate sensors. So this one sensor is being shared between the 2 cameras, and it's already smaller. It's smaller than 1 inch, it's smaller than the sensor in the DJI Air 2S. But from the reviews I've been seeing, the YouTubers and tech reviewers that have reviewed the DJI Air 3 so far, they say it's been performing better in low light conditions, and the quality seems a bit better than the DJI Air 2S. So I don't think the sensor size is affecting the image quality, and it's 48 megapixels, so we can expect a bump in resolution for the photos, more details when you zoom in, you can crop in more, because the DJI Air 2S was already amazing with photos at the 20 megapixel, because the first generation Air, I think it was what, 12 or 16 megapixel, and then the Air 2S is 20 megapixel, and now we have 48 megapixel. So I guess the 48 megapixel makes up for the details in the smaller sensor, but the more megapixels you have on a sensor is the more the light has to be shared to each pixel. So the smaller the sensor, even though the sensor is smaller, the light has to be shared to those individual pixels on the sensor. Compared to a 1-inch sensor with 20 megapixels, you're only sharing the light between 20 pixels, but you have a smaller sensor now, and you have 48 megapixels, so the light is being shared even into smaller quantities. It's more physics stuff. Yeah, moving right along. Another thing that I like about the DJI Air 3 is the fact that they keep it like an Air lineup. They don't try to make it look too much like the Mavic 3 Pros and or down to the mini lineup of drones. It's still an Air drone. It has that nice gray color that the Air 2, Air 2S has. Another big improvement I think they added to the Air 3, talked about it in the specs, is the 46-minute flight time. Amazing. I already loved the flight time I was getting from the DJI Air 2S. Now I have more. And I am not going to turn down more. I love more. Give me more. I also saw that they released a new DJI remote control for the DJI Air 3. This one has antennas. Most of the other DJI controllers don't have any antennas protruding, and you know antennas give better signal. But my question is, I have the Air 2S currently, but I have the DJI RC Pro. I hope DJI will make the DJI Air 3 compatible with the DJI RC Pro in the future, because the DJI RC Pro currently is compatible with the Mavic 3 lineup of drones, the Mini 3 Pro, the Mini 3, the Air 2S. So I hope they will add the DJI Air 3 to that list in the future, because this is the latest RC Pro. This is the highest of the pinnacle of DJI remote controls currently. So I hope they didn't make me buy this controller in vain and won't be able to use it on my Air 3, because realistically speaking, this controller costs more than the DJI Air 3, like $1,200. Moving right along. Now for my dislikes. Now, my dislikes aren't necessarily geared towards the drone. The only main dislike I have so far is the fact that they keep making them bigger. We already love the size of the DJI Air 2 and Air 2S. They're practically the same size. So the Air 3 becoming a bigger drone, and not by increments, it's like almost 200 grams bigger, about 150, 200 grams bigger. This raises a bit of concern, because will the Air 3S be bigger than the Air 3? This will be pushing the Air lineup outside of being a tiny, comfortable, compact drone between the Pro lineup and the Mini lineup. So I'm a bit concerned right there. Also, why did they release the DJI Air 3 now? Because less than a year ago, they released the Mavic 3 Classic. Then a couple months ago, literally, they released the Mavic 3 Pro. It's like they're cannibalizing their own lineup of drones. But don't get me wrong now, they are for different categories. Different persons use each of these drones, because the DJI Air 3 is for like what, $1,350, while the DJI Mavic 3 Pro is like $4,000. Am I correct? About $3,000, $4,000. So I don't think anyone who is buying the Air 3 or has the budget for the Air 3 would ever look in the DJI Mavic 3 Pro's direction. So it's a give and take situation. But someone like me, I was looking at the DJI Mavic 3 Pro as my upgrade from my Air 2S or even the Mavic 3 Classic. But now the Air 3 came, and you know, if the Air 3 is here, there will be an Air 3S. So I will be waiting. Cool fact also, guys, you see that photo over there on my wallpaper? That photo was taken using my DJI Air 2S. Amazing. Now for the verdict of this video. Should you buy the DJI Air 3 or should you not buy the DJI Air 3? The DJI Air 3 is practically the same price as the DJI Air 2S when it came out. So if you're upgrading from the DJI Air 2S, you can sell the DJI Air 2S and upgrade to the DJI Air 3. I will not tell you to keep the DJI Air 2S because it's a better drone compared to the DJI Air 2S in many aspects. Better range, better obstacle avoidance. You have two cameras now, and you now have longer flight time plus other cool features. So you can sell your DJI Air 2S and upgrade to the DJI Air 3. Or if you want to be like me and continue shooting on my amazing DJI Air 2S and wait on the DJI Air 3S, you can do that as well, because I will definitely be waiting on the 3S, because if the Air 3 is this good, imagine the Air 3S. Look at the DJI Air 2 versus the Air 2S. So I'll patiently wait on the DJI Air 3S. If you found this video interesting and informative, please hit the subscribe button so I can grow as a creator and continue making videos like these. If you want to see me blow up, algorithm like me some more, hit that like button so I can show YouTube that people actually like my videos and can be pumped to other viewers. I'm Chevaughn Beckford. Stay tuned for more videos like these. If you want to see why I bought the DJI RC Pro, watch this video over here. If you want to see what I think of the DJI Air 2S in more details, watch this video over here. Chevaughn Beckford signing out.